Today's show is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You chose to hit play in this podcast today. Smart choice. Make another smart choice with Auto Quote Explorer to compare rates from multiple car insurance companies all at once. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn. And you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
First, validate my concerns. And then
quit her job.
What
if she were to do it, but in the wrong order? Like if she quits her job and then comes home and validates your concerns?
Divorce.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah. So anyway, I've come down from my fear.
Oh, yeah. You're great.
Like I said in that short clip of me being Nostradamus.
Yes. Mr. Dumbass. Uh-huh.
Mr. Dumbass.
That's what they
and
call
his
you.
prediction. Just get like whoever hosts like This American Life.
Oh, yeah.
Or the This American Life podcast
or the
Achievement Award.
Guys who do Radio Lab, like the NPR podcast. It's Robert Krulwich, and then the other guy's name is like Jab Abinrab or something.
Okay. It sounds like that sounds like the start of Black Betty.
Oh, Jab Abinrab.
Oh, Jab Abinrab.
What the hell? Oh, Black Betty, Jab and Rab.
Oh, Black Betty, Jab and Rab. Black Betty had a child, Jab and Rab.
That's Jab Abinrab, I believe is his name.
You think we could get a guy like Jab on? Our closest brush with celebrity was, what's that loser host a YouTube truck show?
Hey, don't talk about my boy LT like that.
Sorry. Who's that highly successful YouTube truck show?
It's on actual TV, too.
Uh-huh.
Exchanged messages with him just recently.
Why? In what universe, Steve, did you, February in Michigan, did you have to reach out to your friend LT, and I'll say that because I don't know his name.
I know.
Lawrence Taylor, the linebacker from the New York Giants?
You're half right.
Lawrence?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a terrible name.
You know it is not a terrible name. Jab Abinrab.
As we inch closer to receiving our very first Podconey Award.
Yeah, is this happening? We've talked about this at great length over the last couple of weeks.
Zach is...
things are brewing, aren't they?
Things are brewing in the Jab Abinrab podcast, or Lifetime Achievement in Podcast Excellence, I believe is how we're going to refer to it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's
award.
Very prestigious award
that we created last week, and obviously we will be the
first recipients.
Very first recipients.
It's very noble of us to.
Well, listen, nobody else nominated.
Yeah,
it was a really close category, and it was 2 votes to 0 for nobody else. Mm-hmm. You and I voted for us,
right?
So there's an offer on the table for me to be at this. At the Yuck Yuck Fest.
We were talking about that before we started because now last week we discussed it, and as you usually do, you said that you had no desire to be there. Therefore, the offer of tickets was never presented because well, I don't want to give them to you if you don't want them.
Sure, sure. They would be sold.
Yeah. You could probably get some money.
Pennies on the dollar. I'm not even asking for much.
So then Zach, friend of the show, spoke up and said to you, hey, I have two, isn't he like front row center?
Yeah, I believe he said he has a front row seat.
Let me say this. If you decide that you do want to go to the Yuck Yuck Fest, take him up on that offer, because those tickets are much better than any ticket I could get you.
Oh, I won't be standing in a corral like a cow being led to slaughter?
No. Yeah, I would definitely take his offer. That is, if you decide to go, which, again, I assume you won't, because you seem to have made it your life's mission to knock me down a peg in everything I do.
Oh, listen, the instant this podcast gets the respect it so deserves from your co-monkeys.
Speaking of which,
it may be a discussion. But before Zach did message us last Tuesday, said if I can't convince my wife to go to the show, this is all you need to know about this thing.
Mm-hmm. Because Zach's got to travel a bit, right? That would be a couple hour. It'd be a couple hour trek for him.
Yeah. So his wife is guffawing at the idea of a night out, because the night out consists of these monkeys, lobbing, formed feces at each other.
Hot, steamy poop. We've already started the process of collecting said poop.
Good. And then there could be some hoo-hoos and ha-ha.
Yep.
And then another mound of feces.
Yeah.
Goes from the left to the right of the stage, and the crowd roars with approval.
So this is I'm kind of off to a rough start this morning. I was out way too late last night for a 38-year-old dad.
We've had this talk before, and yet you're trying to fly in the face of every convention known to man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
not only it's not like you're a new father, but you're not a 24-year-old new father. So you have multiple facets playing against you for this.
Well, that, and I'm not a go out and stay out late drinking all night kind of person to begin with. So, and it wasn't even the plan. Of course, we had an event last night. There's a big comedy festival going on here in town. It's called Laugh Fest. And each year, the people that put on Laugh Fest, it's basically like 10 or 12 nights of comedy events all over the different venues. It's a really cool event. It's
getting progressively worse.
It's for it benefits Gilda's Club,
which is, I believe, for cancer research.
Yeah,
right?
Gilda Radner. So it each
big
year
names.
Yeah,
it's not just like 4 massive names and then that's it. Like that's the 12 nights. No. It's mixed with events you're going to talk about, which is local comedians, different
like the funniest in the Midwest contest,
improv nights. So it's a really cool festival that has multiple. I mean, you could honestly go downtown Grand Rapids, Michigan, at 5 o'clock on any given day, and be out until 10 or 11 watching different forms of comedy. So
it's a cool event. It's a really cool event.
And you were a part of. You always said you were a part of this. This is what your event was related to.
This. So last night they had asked us. Each year they ask us, "Hey, can you help us host an event?" Or a lot of times it's just going out before you introduce the comedian, but before you introduce the comedian, they have a bunch of copy points like, hey, if you want to donate to Gilda's Club, text blah, blah, blah to one, blah, 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 blah. And making different announcements about coming up tomorrow night, there's this and that. And so this year they asked us if we could host a trivia night.
Okay.
And we were
very popular.
All right, that sounds like fun. So it was us from the show, and then media people from other radio stations, TV stations, just all sorts of people from this town. Like a lot of people from Wood TV and WZZM, which are the NBC and ABC news stations, Fox 17. So the way it was set up was you walk in and there's like 20 tables set up, so every table is a team.
Right.
And we're hosting trivia, so everybody's writing down their answers. At the end of each round, they add them all up. But the caveat is all of the media people are kind of milling around, like hopping in, sitting down at certain tables, helping people out with questions, helping people out with trivia. If you donate $20 or whatever, they'll give you an answer, like things like that. So it all goes to
brush with the stars.
Oh yeah. Just royalty.
I mean, in my wildest dreams, imagine, being next to and just sharing in some laughs. With the midday weather person.
Yeah. So
you pay the premium.
We had a blast. It was a
it sounds fun.
Really fun event.
The whole gang, whole crew there.
4. Greg was jet setting off to
big name
to Duke.
My name's the first on the show. I wouldn't be caught dead. My talent fee extra.
So, we had a blast. It was. By the end of it, it was just complete chaos because everybody was drinking the whole time, so it just gets louder and louder and louder. It was chaos. I fell off the stage at one point.
Oh, Jesus.
Not because I was intoxicated at all. It was just something so ridiculous happened in front of me that I took a step back because I was so surprised, or I was laughing so hard at what happened that I fell off the back of the stage. That was embarrassing, but really funny.
Did you happen to see our friend Ryan there?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
Good, man. Haven't seen him in a while. Is he still did he walk around going, "Hey, you know who I am, right?"
Rape stash.
Did you drop that?
Yeah, oh yeah, constantly.
Hey, nice to meet you. Rape stash.
It was funny right before we were going to leave. I turned around and he's like, "Hey man." He was right there because he has an IT job, but he also works part-time at the brewery that it was at. So it was great to see him. And so afterwards, a bunch of us decided to walk down the street, grab another drink or two. So I was hanging out with people that I communicate with all the time, but almost never see in person.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun. Met a lot of people that I had never met before. But it was weird. It was like seeing these people. Like I see them on TV all the time, but it's like man, I feel like I know I know you.
Right.
But
celebrities, man, they're just like us.
Just like us. So yeah, a drink turned into 2 that turned into shots and turned into
what are you still sipping on? You still doing the Crown and Sprite?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I started last night with a couple of beers at the brewery, which I never do.
Yeah, you're not a beer guy anymore, and you never were a big fan.
No,
but you're at a brewery. Mm-hmm. I mean, you if you're the guy asking for a gin and tonic, you're the one getting looks.
Sure. So I had 2 beers that I really enjoyed. Opposite ends of the spectrum. I had some citrusy one, but then a stout. So already my stomach was like, huh.
Yeah, you really like to play with your palate a little bit when it comes to beer. Really start on one end, and then don't ease your way down the line.
No.
You jump to the end,
yeah,
and then work your way back.
Yeah. So, like I said, a drink turned into 2, turned into some shots, turned into.
When was the last time you've done a shot?
I wouldn't even begin to make a guess.
And so last night,
years.
A Friday night, late 30s Steve,
38-year-old looking down the barrel at 39-year-old Steve,
decides it's time to let loose, while his lovely bride and daughter, and mother, sit at home.
Now, I originally wasn't planning on going to this event. They had asked us about it a couple of weeks ago.
I'm not going to pay the talent fee. I mean, not going to get the prize if you're not going to pony up.
You going to pay the freight?
How's that work? You get an email, and do you just send an email back with the money eyes emoji and question marks?
Yep. Yeah. Usually the subject line is "F you, pay me."
And then you got a PDF of your listed rates.
Right, yeah. And of course, it's millions.
Oh, my God, yeah. I mean, but again, I mean,
yeah, like
you're familiar with the best negotiating tactic, Steve. You start at double with what you want, and you settle for half.
Yeah.
So you ask for the moon.
Sure. Yeah.
And then you're willing to take, though, up to 50%.
We're not political. We don't get the lowest advertised rate for the calendar year. We go for the jugular.
Yep.
And rip off that charity for as much money as we can get.
Oh, listen, it's everybody's got to get their cut, you know. And if you want the star power, if you want your banner or your digitally distributed one sheet to say Steve, and then below that, in about 8 points smaller font, parentheses, from the Free Beer and Hot Wings show, you pay the going rate.
Look, you're making money. I gotta get my beak wet too.
What was? I think you may have just mentioned it. What was the saying you came up with? Something about pay the freight.
If you pay me. Oh,
something about carry the freight. I don't know. We need that on.
I vaguely remember.
We need that on some merch. Essentially saying, "Pay me." You want me there? Pay me.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're all in it for.
So
let me ask you.
I had a great time, but did not like it. It was not something that I needed to do, and I had a fun time. But I was reminded this morning of why 38-year-old Dad Steve doesn't do that anymore.
Well,
yeah, that is exactly what I am. But so when I woke up, I got out of bed finally at like 8:30, which was
okay. So you ditched out on daughter duties last night.
Yeah,
most of the night. Came home, probably stumbled in the door, hit the bench by your door, closed the garage, pressed the button too many times, so it went down, up, down, up, down. Yep. Dogs are barking. You're coming in trying to shush them.
Cars parked on the front lawn.
You somehow knock like a fork off the counter. It clangs everywhere.
Somehow ran over a fountain that we don't have.
Sit down at the table and think you're being quiet as you microwave a Hot Pocket.
Hey, man, you got to eat.
Go upstairs, act like you're tiptoeing, and that goes, so 2 a.m., huh?
Huh? No, I've been home since 11. I just went down to get a snack.
Yeah. Did you hear that Hot Pocket?
I fall asleep in the Hot Pocket in my hand in the bed.
In his little paper or cardboard sleeve.
Yeah, of course.
So let me ask you, as we approach 11 a.m. here on Saturday, and by the way, it is Saturday, March 7, 2020. Do you say the year?
2020.
2020. Yeah. You see, I'm not cut out for this.
I know I forgot to do it either last week or the week.
Did not.
Yeah, there was an episode that I realized it after you had left. I was like, I don't think I ever did it.
That's why our numbers are in the tanks. People don't know the date and time.
Yeah, that's it. That's the excuse.
So at 11 a.m., do you regret anything you did last night?
Oh, no. Not a chance. I had a great time.
You do it again.
Had a great time. Made some new friends. And
let me ask you this, though, because I think there's a couple different ways you can look at an event like that. I don't know if you're like me, but if something like that is planned, whether it's, hey, we're going out, going to go hit like 3 or 4 bars, it might be a late night, whatever, let's go party. Personally, I'm going to dread it.
Yeah. What you just said, planning to go to 3 or 4 bars, but I don't like that at all.
Well, essentially planning a night out, like what happened. But if it comes up organically, kind of like you were already out, everybody says, hey, you want to go to another place, have another drink, then it feels better to me. But when it's planned night out at my age, I'm not interested.
No, I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. Although we're going out to dinner with a couple of friends of ours next Friday, and I'm really looking forward to that because we haven't seen them in months. So that's going to be
dinner.
Dinner and possibly
got some question marks on the end of that invitation.
Possibly going to the comedy club downtown.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go see some yahoos.
Yeah.
Some giggles.
Oh yeah. Chuckle. Yeah. The comedy club is called Chuckles and Laughs.
So 2 weekends in a row.
Yeah.
Steve hitting the town.
Yeah.
Are you ready for that?
No, I feel like after that I'll probably be ready for a good month off. Which sucks because like 2 weeks after that starts the most hectic couple of months of my year.
Well, Steve, that might lead to the most hectic few months of the year, but I'm going to need you to keep it together because Saturday, July 11th
Yes.
is a big
day.
Big day. Now, attendance through the roof.
How many thousands do we have RSVP to this?
I had to increase the limit on RSVPs.
What was the limit?
So barring... it's neither here nor there. So barring the coronavirus concerns that seem to so be afflicting every large event of this scale, Saturday, July 11th, at a location TBD as soon as Steve and I decide to put our heads together and try to figure out a place to host this thing.
Maybe the library?
Ooh. I think we'd have to cancel, like, kid playroom. Probably would. Saturday, July 11th. The greater West Michigan area.
Oh, why don't we do it out on the beach?
Audio's great.
Could we, though? Do we need, like, a permit?
I don't know.
I don't think we
What
would.
would we say? Just bring your own towel? Or bring your own chair?
That would be nice.
And
That'd
then
be
you and
really
I
nice.
just hope it's not as windy as it will be.
Yeah.
Because
maybe, we try to, I don't know, put up a tent, maybe?
Huh.
Like a pop-up? We could put up a pop-up tent.
To fit all the hundreds of people that are coming?
Well, no, just for us.
Oh.
Because we don't care about, like...
Everybody else sit. Okay.
I mean, really, because the wind isn't going to be bothering them. The wind is going to be bothering us if it's in our headphones.
Yeah. No, that's true. We can't have the wind.
Yeah.
Maybe you and I are just in a building, and everybody else is outside.
Okay, is the building near where they are?
Oh, I don't care.
So they're basically getting together for a listen party.
Yep. Yeah, so like in Vegas, when a venue sells out for a big boxing match or whatever, a lot of the casinos will host, or you can pay like $10 for closed-circuit TV viewings of that.
Okay.
So maybe we do that.
You think there's going to be that big of a demand?
I just want to be on that.
All right. I need you, because we each have some responsibilities for this.
Sure.
For this live show. I need you to get in touch with the closed circuit TV people to set up a feed.
Okay. You think they could... Do you think...
Yes.
And I'm being 100% serious. Do you think we could buy some local time on our local public access channel, WCET TV?
Yeah. It can't be that expensive, right?
I want to now air that episode. Actually, you know what? I'm moving on from the live show. I don't even care anymore. I want a video of this on like Sunday night, 2 a.m. to 3 a.m.
So you want our podcast. So we just set up a camera in here.
Yep.
Feed them the audio.
Yep. I don't even care if it's live. You know, we could do live to tape.
Yeah.
And then send them the physical tape that they put in their VCR.
Yeah.
And click play at 11 p.m. or whatever time slot we can afford. Okay. I need this in my life now.
Well, I feel like this is going to be another one of those dead ends, like when we tried to advertise or we tried to partner with the local roller derby.
That wasn't a dead end. They're just way disillusioned. They need a reality check.
They wanted thousands of dollars for us to be not even like, in order to get any kind of signage at their games, which like 3 people attend, we need to pay thousands of dollars for a small banner.
I need to see if I can find that email. Or did it go to your personal?
I don't remember.
Oh, man. But yeah, that is the reason.
No, I'm pretty sure I would have sent that from
the show account?
The show account, yeah.
That's a little peek behind the curtain. If you want to know why the roller derby fantasy died a very fast death,
yeah,
it was because the numbers we got back were, well, not realistic, is what you mentioned, Steve.
No, not at all. Quick note, I want to thank Andrew. Andrew is a listener to this podcast, also the side gig. It's unclear where Andrew's from. I don't know if he's from Minnesota, if he's from Green Bay, or if he's from Nashville. It's one of those three. But he called into the radio show on, I think, Thursday, played the trivia game, did not win, but included a nice little mention of your favorite folks.
Oh, love the show, guys. Love the Steve and Kyle podcast.
Thank you, man.
Well, yeah, mostly thanks. Can't win them all.
So he did the textbook, exactly what we always ask for.
Oh, love the show, guys. Love the Steve and Kyle podcast.
That's it. That's perfect.
I mean, I'd appreciate it the other way around.
Oh, so you want him to reverse it?
I think love the podcast. Love the Steve and Kyle podcast. Show's fine.
You're getting ballsy now.
I guess that doesn't. Roll off the tongue as smoothly.
No. But it perfectly delivered. Again, Andrew, I'm not sure if you're in. He had like a Minnesota phone number, but he said he was in Green Bay, but he's been to our show in Nashville, so I don't know if he's moved around or what. But thank you, man. That was awesome.
If you get on to one of the many farmed out segments that Yuck Yuck Fest does every day.
Farmed out meaning?
I'll just rely on the listeners.
So we don't do any of the work.
Ugh. I mean, I've seen what you do there. Press a few buttons. Count them. 5 salaries.
Mm-hmm.
And many, many Johnny the Duck and Lisa's out of work.
Oh, man.
So if you can sleep with it...
Forgot about Johnny the Duck.
If you can sleep with that, Steve, knowing that every day, then that's fine. But before we get too far removed, I just tweeted it out, put it on Facebook again. Saturday, July 11, currently slotted for, I think, like 2 in the afternoon or 1 in the afternoon. The first ever Steve and Kyle podcast. This one's for the road. Live show.
I think that's caused a bit of confusion.
Yeah, I don't know why we did it that way, but I'm okay with it.
Well, because this one's... Maybe we should have called it This One's on the Road. Or, like, this one's for the road, but 4 has, like, the strike-through font on it, and then it's on.
I don't know how much more we can... I don't know how much more clear we can be that this is our last one and we're quitting.
100% done.
Okay.
July 11th, that will probably be our 225th episode or so.
Yep. But in all seriousness, we need you to RSVP if you're coming. We want dozens of people there. Anything.
I would be thrilled with 15.
But we wouldn't do it for 15, would we? Are we really going to do all this planning for a venue and whatever else is necessary for us to buy? For 15?
Personally, I'm in. If it's just you and me recording outside.
We got 12 people to drive to Van Wert, Ohio. We got 6 or 7 people to drive to Boston, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
And you're telling me we can't get 20 to 30 at least?
I don't know. I don't think so, but maybe. If you book your travel now, use promo code SKPOD, 80% off airline and hotel.
That's on all of your travel planning websites.
How about if we do this? Is there a campground locally? We could do it at a campground, so if people traveled in from out of town, they could camp there.
Take their RVs, their fifth wheels, their tents.
Maybe we could do the podcast from a fifth wheel.
Well, we've got some terrible ideas. That one is...
It's pretty high up.
That's pretty high up there. Just you and me sitting in the fifth wheel?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I don't know that that's better or worse than the idea of us doing it from a building while everybody else is outside.
I have what might be the best idea I've ever had.
Okay, I can't wait to hear it.
Not underselling this.
There's no way to undersell when you call something the best idea you've ever had. And now I can't... Okay. Do you want to use like the breaking news sounder? Do you want to use...
No, because it's not breaking news yet.
Oh, that's fair. I don't want to abuse that.
And I never did turn the iPad on today, so we'd have to wait about 4 minutes.
Oh, I can filibuster.
So, what do you say?
Okay.
We change the date just slightly.
Okay.
Bump it up by a week.
Terrible idea.
July 4th.
Yeah.
This town has a big 4th of July parade.
Okay, I have something to come back to related to that because now I have another idea. So you want to broadcast, am I right, live from the parade?
We get someone to tow us on a trailer, and we do the podcast live from a flatbed being pulled through a parade.
So you and me, this table, on a trailer behind a truck.
Flatbed, all decorated, 4th of July, Uncle Sam, everything.
No. We're not. We will be decorated as Uncle Sam.
Sure, we are Uncle Sam's.
We'll be wearing costumes is what we're getting at.
Mm-hmm.
And then just one big speaker, front facing.
Yes.
And
we'll have two, maybe.
Okay, each direction.
One out each side.
This budget got out of control quick.
Yeah, I'm sure we can rent that from the local.
That's a good point.
Local rental speaker place.
How does that work? Do we have to apply to be in the parade?
That's a good question. We should probably look into it. But we have 3 months, 4 months.
By the way, they have. We'd have to go to a neighboring town, but that's okay. It's 5 minutes away. Wow.
Pretty good, right? I mean, it sucks. It sucks for the people that, well, really for anyone involved.
Also, nobody's going to enjoy this.
So, if you're planning on coming to town for the big 4th of July parade podcast, I mean, if you want to actually hear the podcast, you're just going to have to walk. You have to
2 miles.
Walk next to us.
But
what's that parade take? It couldn't take more than 15 minutes, right?
Well, it depends. I think it moves slow. I mean, I could see it taking 20, 25, maybe 30 minutes.
Okay.
So you and I need a condensed episode.
So no, well, either that or the parade finishes and then whoever's driving the truck obviously pulls into a parking lot and then we just sit in a parking lot. We sit in a parking lot parked in between people going grocery shopping and going to the local restaurant. And it's just you and I sitting on a trailer in Uncle Sam costumes.
Finishing our regular episode.
Yeah.
Talking about your Jeep.
Yep.
And then, a story about your air travel.
Yeah, DIY project gone awry. The usual.
And
probably throwing some garage door talk.
We get up and say, thank you! And we walk to our cars that are parked there.
There's just one person good job. Why did I walk 3 miles?
It would be Zach.
It would be Zach. That was exactly who I was picturing it would be. It would be Zach.
Like a thumbs up.
With a Lucky Billy shirt on.
Yeah, from 8 feet away, just a thumbs up. Good job, guys. Thanks, Zach. And you and I slowly walk to our cars after getting groceries in our Uncle Sam costumes.
We drive home, and then Zach is just left standing there I drove across the state for this?
Well, pending parade approval, Saturday, July 11th, 1 p.m. is the date, is the time to put on your calendars.
I'm picturing it, I'm just picturing us sitting in a park doing that. I think it's going to be in a park.
You're into this idea.
I'm into the outdoor idea. It has to be outdoors. For me, has to be outdoors.
Man.
When I close my eyes, I picture us in a park, maybe under a little gazebo.
I just worry about the weather.
Well, that's why we're under a tent.
Oh, right. The tandem tent idea again.
Well, if we just get an easy pop-up tent.
Yeah, that makes sense. Listen.
I have 4 of them up in my attic in the garage that the previous owner left, but they're not
part of the garbage pile.
Yeah, they're not the pop-up ones where it's 4 people, each person grabs a corner and they pop right up.
Okay,
they are the old school ones where it's there's a bushel of 50 poles.
You got to connect.
You got to put them all together. Yeah.
I need people to be drunk for this or drinking.
Okay.
We need laughs. And 85% of this is not laughs. So either we're sneaking booze in somewhere for people, or we need to go to a place where it's allowed then.
Yeah, because you probably can't just have open containers at a city park.
Correct.
Okay. Do you think that if we apply for a permit or something, they're going to make us have police officers there?
we have to pay for them, all that.
Yeah.
Huh. That would look kind of cool, though,
That's what
right?
I'm thinking. That's
Like
what I'm-
security staffing, be like, sorry, you gotta check in through security, no big deal.
I'm thinking we go rogue and we do a pop-up live show. Like, we let people know where it's going to be.
Right.
Hope that nobody calls the fuzz on us.
So Steve wants to skirt the law.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, I could get on board with that.
The only problem is, in the summertime, a nice summer day, the parks are going to be crowded.
No question. You're not going to be, like, kicking kids out of the splash pad because we need to set up folding chairs.
How awkward would that be, though, if we're sitting here, cutting it up, doing our thing, telling these NC-17 jokes that we tell.
Man, we are so racy.
And then, you look over and a mom and her couple kids kind of sit down on a blanket and they're just watching.
And then, the kid thinks, are they going to throw candy? No, son, nobody really knows what this is. We're the only people here.
That's why we need a private parcel. Somebody did offer, they said that they have, a couple of acres.
A big backyard.
Yeah. Do we do it? Do we just show up? If they're willing to host in their backyard, that would be perfect. It's private property. We're not going to have to worry about, alcohol laws or anything like that.
We just have to worry about, the person's house, restrooms, and
Yeah, that's not our problem. I'll pay for a porta potty.
So take the venue.
I'll pay a couple $100 for a porta potty.
Oh yeah, maybe we even know someone in the rental or the porta potty industry.
Yeah, or just someone in the bucket industry that could give us some buckets. We got a bucketer out there.
You think a 5-galloner?
Yeah,
with a removable lid.
right.
Lid off, lid on.
Well, you can get those. You ever see those toilet seats that you can get for basically it's they're geared at people for camping, and it's a toilet seat that fits into a trailer hitch on the back of a truck. So you just plug it in, and then you sit right there.
Boy, we need connections in some weird industries. If you trace this back, we've looked for a plaquist.
Yeah.
We've looked for what was the other one? A trophist?
Yeah, somebody who makes trophies.
And now, a connection in the bucket industry.
Yeah, a bucketeer. So, calling all bucketeers.
Okay. So if you or you know someone who has a profession or in their free time molds buckets?
I mean, they could just be a seller of buckets.
No, we're only going to accept.
So we want
handcrafted.
I want a farm to table bucket.
Pottery style bucket for our restroom.
Okay, yeah, because we want to be sustainable.
And I want to say it was Jeff McDonald's backyard. I might be volunteering that up without...
Oh, that's Bean. Yeah, Jeff Bean McDonald.
Without being fully aware, but I believe he is the one who offered up his backyard in a neighboring community. And I get the impression that Jeff thinks as highly of his neighbors as I do, because volunteering up your property for essentially a mini party of degenerates listening to a live podcast seems to be at odds with what a neighbor would want.
But he may also have a more private setting. He may not have a neighbor immediately next to him.
That's true. I choose to believe, though, that he is just flying in the face of conventional neighbor activities and saying, yes, I'm going to have a massive shindig in my backyard.
Oh, man. I just thought of the perfect setting for it. I was at stopped by a buddy's house a couple of weeks ago when we were doing the bathroom project so I could borrow his tile saw, his wet saw.
Yeah.
And it was the first time I had been to, they just moved into the house in the last year or so.
Okay.
First time I had been there. And it's beautiful. It's this perfect setting. It's only 10 minutes from here. But it's off the beaten path. And he has this awesome deck that looks out over this massive pond out behind his house.
Okay.
But the deck goes it's like a tiered deck. So it kind of steps down 3 or 4 times.
Nice.
So it's one level up here, couple feet down, another. It's tiered. It's stadium seating. and then a big deck.
So you and I in the yard.
Us on the lowest level.
Okay, on the deck.
With the pond in the background, and then our adoring fans tiered in front of us.
Man.
I could it's our realtor friend who was we were in tough negotiations to get his real estate podcast.
Yeah, he turned us down.
I think I don't think he does that anymore. I think he made it to about 10 or 12 episodes and said,
that's surprising. That is the way most podcasts go, especially real estate related.
So I'll put the call out to Dan.
So Steve has moved past the idea of even a park.
Yeah.
And you're now on to listener and friends private property.
Venue. Private venue.
You know, it does make it, gives it a little air of exclusivity.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, the idea that, where are you going? It's a private event.
Yeah.
Invite only.
Not just anybody can go.
Oh, did you not RSVP on Facebook? Sorry. You probably can't go.
You don't get the secret instructions on how to get there.
Speaking of private property, and speaking of neighborhood issues, do you have that breaking news sounder prepared, Steve? Live from the Steve and Kyle Podcast News Desk, Steve has an update on his neighborhood. Zach. Cool, call him Zach. Really thought that was the one.
See, I wasn't sure
if you were me.
Yeah,
me neither.
But I think it's kind of your thing now.
It was my thing. Yeah, it is, and I appreciate if you don't step on it. You texted me this week.
Yeah,
said a little teaser for you. ... Got some big Zach news.
Yeah.
And you followed up by saying, dare I say, the update of the century. And now you are not one to be underselling anything.
No, never.
You got the deal of the century last 2 years ago now.
$600 on parts that should have been, close to $650.
In hindsight, no hassles. Well worth the price of admission.
Yeah, only took 7 weeks to get that seatbelt shipped.
Now let's get this one out of the way, because we had mentioned some weeks ago that we were done talking about your new neighbor, unless there was something new with that. Is this related to the new neighbor who refuses to acknowledge your existence?
No, they're dead to me.
They're dead to Steve. He's moving on.
Although I did have somewhat of, there was sort of communication.
Oh, for God's sake, hit the breaking news sounder before you bust that. Live from the Steve and Kyle Podcast News Desk, Steve had an interaction with the weird neighbor. More at 10, 11. It's always like that. Half to 3/4 of a second that I can't figure out.
Yeah.
I think I overcompensate at the start. You know what? This is all for our post-show breakdown when you and I have our meeting about what we could have done better.
I don't even know. I may have already mentioned this, but I had gone on to the Nextdoor app.
Yeah.
And I saw that the house next to us was no longer a red dot. It was now a green dot, which means that there are people...
Active.
Have I talked about this?
Well, I think you mentioned it on the podcast that you'd said, welcome neighbor.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Never mind then. Okay.
That was it, though? There wasn't like a like of that comment?
There
or a
was.
Reply? Okay, now this is the breaking news. Live from the Steve and Kyle Podcast News Desk, Steve has had somewhat of an interaction with the neighbor's wife. Now, come on! You think you could trim
no,
a half a second on that?
It's impossible. It can't be done.
Because I feel like that's where I'm struggling here, is with the last half to 1 second and being able to hit that.
Why don't you just talk for an extra second?
Well, I think I overcompensate at the start. I talk too fast, thinking I'm not going to have enough time. And then I realize I don't have that much to say, because there's, it's the third time we've done it in 30 seconds. If you haven't
so you try to stretch.
If you haven't been able to catch up on the bit yet. So then I end up at the end 1 to 2 words short on what I need to say.
Well, see, the first time when you were short and you said more at 10 and there was the pause, you should have just thrown in 15. More at 10, 15.
Oh, this is... You know what? I'm changing my tune. Maybe it's not all monkeys throwing feces over there. You guys really know what you're doing.
You're actually learning here.
Live from the Steve and Kyle Podcast News Desk, Steve has had somewhat of an interaction with his neighbor's wife on the Next Door app. See, I just can't get it. This is ridiculous. Are you changing it? Are there like a couple different ones and you're messing with my head? Like one's longer, one's shorter?
Just stepped all over it.
That one was close. I think I'm getting it.
Yeah. I can't wait for by the time July 11th rolls around, you will have it nailed.
You just wait, because if you're not there live in attendance Saturday, July 11th for the Steve and Kyle Podcast Live, that one for the road.
This one's for / from the road.
This one's /for/on/from the road live show. You'll only be able to hear in hindsight as you listen to the taped version. You'll only be able to hear the crowd roar as I nail that sounder. And then we go into another inane topic, like the time the neighbor woman replied to Steve's comment on the Next Door app.
Yeah.
So what was it?
But we digress.
Obviously.
She liked the comment.
I feel like...
You feel like the setup was a bit bigger than the story?
It's very reminiscent to me of when I was, I think, 19, and we drove 13 hours to New York City for the ball drop on New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
And we got into Times Square, and they corral you in like, animals.
Mm-hmm.
And you look up, and I, honest to God, thought the ball was covered by a big Target logo until like 11:40.
So you stood there all day looking at a Target logo.
Thinking that the ball, they were going to unveil the ball.
Thinking it was the ball.
Because...
And then you probably had to adjust your vision from like this to 1 inch higher. Oh, there it is.
Well, yeah, and to the left, because it, honest to God, could have been a star. It was so small.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I feel like comparatively... that just happened.
A bit underwhelming.
Yeah.
It lacked the whelm.
It didn't have the pop I was hoping, like a comment back like, "Thanks, neighbor, come over soon."
No. Just an acknowledgement that
you think she's being held hostage?
It seems weird.
Whatever. We said we're not talking about it unless there's an update. We gave the update. We're moving on. What is the big news of the century on the Zach?
So, I think I've talked about this before. There's one woman that lives across on the other side of the Zach, next to the new neighbors, which I think you gave millennial names or something to.
Oh, yeah, like Julie with a Y and an E. And then...
like Turbo or something.
Yeah, the Gladiator. You live across the Zach.
Yeah.
From a retired American Gladiator.
Oh, that would be incredible. I was always a huge fan of Gemini.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wait, was there Gemini?
What were all their names? Like Thunder?
It was like Laser.
Yeah, with a Z.
Yeah, obviously. That's extreme. I guess it should be with an X. Lakeser.
X and a Z.
Oh boy, this is how we got Sports Tate.
Yeah, this is...
me trying to come up with nutty spellings.
Boy, maybe we're not too good on the fly after all, huh? Maybe we need to start planning this podcast out. What do you think about that?
Nah, we haven't done that since like episode 4.
Didn't work then, won't work now.
No.
So the big news on the Zach now.
Yeah.
My theory is that everybody's getting the hell away from you.
Yeah,
because
it would appear so.
You moved in. It's been a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
How many?
No, 2.5 years.
2.5.
2.5 years.
I thought it was 2018.
No,
incorrect.
27 September of 2017.
Okay. Since then, how many homes out of, let's call it 10?
No, there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 homes.
How many have gone up for sale?
4.
I mean,
and one. Well,
what's the saying, Steve? The proof is in the pudding, and the pudding is you moving in, and the proof is everybody else getting the hell out.
So there's one woman that lives by herself. She is an elderly woman, and the story I had gotten from one of the neighbors.
Oh man, she didn't find the bucketeer and kick it, did she?
To be determined, I guess. I guess I don't know.
Okay, I just want to get out in front that the quote unquote news of the century
wasn't dead grandma.
Wasn't an old lady dying across the street so that someone else can move in again.
Yeah, again, to be determined. I guess I'm not technically sure.
Should we go knock on her door?
We had noticed, like, in the 2.5 years we've been here, I think I've seen her less than 5 times.
Now, you have a history, because your last shared home with, well, at that point it was, you and the landlord.
Mm-hmm.
You had an older neighbor as well.
Yeah.
That also may have found the local 5-galloner. Can't even finish it. Giving it the old punt.
Yes, yeah. We live next to an elderly woman there, too.
So, in your desire to find a neighborhood where you could mingle with families and couples your age,
mm-hmm.
you located another one.
We moved into the oldest neighborhood ever.
With an older family.
It's like we left the retirement community and moved into the morgue.
Yeah, you somehow got your average age went up a year.
Yeah.
Of your neighbors.
It did.
So
we hadn't seen again for the first 2 years that we lived here. I saw her probably 5 times. I remember one time it was just like it was right when we first moved in. There was another time where I was just walking down to grab the mail out of the mailbox, and she was doing the same. And so about 6 months ago, we noticed a flurry of activity. Her driveway, there were never any cars in it. She always parked in the garage, I'm assuming. But we noticed 6 months ago, it wouldn't be uncommon on the weekend to look out there and there's 4 cars in the driveway, 1 parked in the street.
Okay.
So
medical professionals.
Maybe.
Checking out.
I don't know. So it just seemed like there was a lot of activity going on there. And last weekend I was doing something out front, and as I was coming back in the house, I just happened to look over there, and a guy walked out of the house, and it was obvious he had tools with him, like a bucket and bucket. Oh no! Wonder if she was in it.
Oh no! Were they bringing it in for her to kick it?
Or had it already been kicked?
Or maybe that was a post-kick bucket?
But we digress. So I thought...
Questions are endless.
Now, last summer, the same thing was happening at the house that the millennials moved into. And I remember thinking then, I was like, it seems like they're fixing it up, maybe getting it ready to sell. So I thought the same thing last weekend. And then earlier this week, Annette sent me the picture, the telltale sign, the for sale sign on the front lawn.
Wow.
Yep. Update of the century.
So that is the 5th home, or is this the 4th?
This is the 4th. Now, the one house diagonal from us, those people have only been there maybe 6 months to a year more than us.
Right.
So they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Their neighbors just moved in last summer. Their neighbor is old lady who's now for sale. Next to them is a family with, seems like they have high school age kids.
Okay.
Next to them is my dead to me neighbors. Then me. And then Joe on the other side. What have I told you?
Oh. Oh, boy. Oh, Steve has another update on a different neighbor. Live from the desk. I know it's my thing. I just didn't know. I have no earthly idea what we're about to get into.
When you work in breaking news, you have to be.
I'm sorry. You know what? Wolf Blitzer wouldn't crumble under that pressure. And CNN breaks news every half hour. Mm-hmm. Hit it again. Live from the Steve and Kyle Podcast News Desk, Steve has another neighbor with a new update. Ish? No. Huh? Like I hit it ish there?
Yeah, you had it, but why'd you... You stepped all over it, though.
Still getting the timing down. I mean, we've only done that a few times.
Yeah. But Kyle, what have I told you? That the for sale by owner home may no longer be for sale by owner.
That posting 5 exterior pictures and not listing it on the open market for everybody to see online somehow still worked.
What have I told you that after days of seeing a mysterious donut truck in the driveway, that I believe that the house has now been sold to a local donut proprietor?
That morning pastries are in Steve's near future.
What have I told you that greeting your neighbors with a sign of friendship can now be done with a donut?
Boy, we really screwed that one up badly. We didn't even get to the title of this.
That whole thing was the title.
Walked away.
It's the longest titled 30 for 30 in history.
So wait a minute.
So not only...
Is it off the market?
Is Grandma's house on the market, Joe's house is now off the market, and we believe that it was sold to somebody that runs a donut shop because there was a donut car in the driveway like 4 or 5 times.
Oh, man.
And now the house is no longer listed.
Now, I hope it's just a worker. Somebody who agreed to, plaster their car for a few extra bucks a month.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking it's the owners of a wildly successful donut place.
Yeah, I mean...
A couple locations?
Yeah, a couple locations.
Which I don't know if you've heard, I don't know if you can tell, but donuts, not exactly the highest profit margin of items to sell. So, might be hard to, survive with one donut shop, let alone multiple.
2 donut shops. You had said that in text the other day, like maybe it's just somebody who, I don't know, if you worked for, Fritos,
right?
Even if you're the biggest fan of Fritos,
no, that's true.
You're not putting a big Frito logo on your car.
It looks like what? I think I estimated you like a 2 to 3 year old midsize SUV.
Mm-hmm.
With a logo on it there.
Yep.
I just expected a Mercedes.
You think that the donut game is that strong?
You got a couple stores,
Live from the Steve and Kyle Podcast News Desk, what have I told you that 20 minutes from now an open house started across the street?
Yeah!
Now we're supposed to record a Fast 5 episode.
Scrap it.
Right after this.
Okay, then what are we still doing recording this?
I think that what you need to do is leave here, get in your car, drive out of the Zac, turn around, drive right back into the Zac, pull into the neighbor's driveway, and walk through that house. My mom really wants to. I think my mom's going to go to it.
If we could knock out a Fast 5 very quickly,
Say no more.
Let me scrap the show plan I had for today.
Is this happening? Are you going to go to it?
I'll try. I've got to be somewhere in a couple hours.
Why don't you go home, pick up your wife and your child?
It's a long drive.
Come back and make it look like,
a family looking for a house?
Yes.
We shoot a text.
Do it. This might have been the most all over the place episode we've done.
Terrible.
At Steve and Kyle, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Do we have a couple polls up there this week?
Nope.
Nothing. I thought you had posted one.
No, we had posted the last poll that was, I want to say 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And that was about Elmer buying a toilet.
That's right. The one thing that we really need you to do, go to Facebook, at Steve and Kyle. And if you are planning on being at the event on July 11th, 2020, you have 4 months to figure this out. We really want to try to get an accurate count on how many people are going to be there. So if you're unsure, don't RSVP unless you're completely sure you're going to be there.
Right. There's a couple ways to do it. If you click reserve a spot, which is what we prefer, it'll ask you a few questions. 1, are you actually going? 2, are you bringing anybody else? If so, how many? That makes it a little easier to tell, hey, there's 25, 30 people, 10, 2, whatever it may be. Please utilize that function.
I can't wait. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. We have to start some planning for it.
Yeah,
we gotta
every detail is TBD.
We have to get a location figured out very quickly. But we will do that. We'll update the post as those details emerge. You can also call or text us, 424-30-SK-POD, 424-307-5763. Love to hear those messages and read those texts. We will talk to you in just a couple days with a Fast 5 episode.
Yeah, stay tuned.
See you.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies. Try it at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
BetMGM Casino is heating up the summer with a 100% deposit match up to $1,000, plus $25 on the house, using bonus code MICasino at sign-up. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER for confidential help. Must be 21 plus. Michigan only. Please gamble responsibly. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable site credit bonus bets unless otherwise provided in the applicable terms. Rewards subject to expiry.
Okay, close your eyes, exhale, feel your body relax, and let go of whatever you're carrying today.
Well, I'm letting go of the worry that I wouldn't get my new contacts in time for this class. I got them delivered free from 1-800-CONTACTS. You guys, they're so fast. Oh, sorry. Namaste.
Hi there. Did you find everything okay?
Yes, I did, because I found the exact same contacts as my eye doctor prescribes at 1-800-CONTACTS. Here, give me that. Attention shoppers, did you know 1-800-CONTACTS has 45 million contacts in stock?
Okay, we checked the brakes. Everything looks good.
You know, speaking of checking, did you know 1-800-CONTACTS triple checks every order? Yeah, they make sure you get exactly what you need when you need it.
1-800-CONTACTS. So good, so fast, so accurate. You'll want to tell everyone, too. Download the app or visit 1-800-CONTACTS.com today and save on your first order.
1-800-CONTACTS.